So today's webinar is based on the 11 plus exam journey. And typically, we are looking at now last 4 months of preparation plan and what could be the catchment area, what are the admission requirements. So we are going in much detail, like how you can prepare your child in the last 4 months. So in today's webinar, my colleague Louise, she is taking all her English lessons in Pi Academy, and she has written many papers which are on our website. She has also developed some of the video courses for 11 plus exams, like 11 plus comprehension course, creative writing course. So she is expert in all sort of exam boards for 11 plus exam. Coming to me, my name is Preeti. I'm the founder of Pi Academy, and I'm mostly looking into the maths and non-verbal reasoning side of this 11 plus exam. We have hundreds and thousands of papers on our website for 11 plus maths. These include the past paper, practice paper. So these are all latest papers. They are all available on our website. We can walk you through when we are going along this webinar. The reason we conduct these webinars because most of the parents, they get very anxious about preparing their children for 11 plus exam, especially when there are only last 4 months are remaining. And we get a lot of emails, lot of chats on our live chat support where parents are asking, like, how should we nail this exam, especially when few months are remaining. So we consolidated all our experiences in the past 11 years because I'm running this company since 2014. We gathered all our experiences, what mistakes the parents should not do, especially when we are at the last 4 months of exam preparation. We will go through a lot of exam boards. We can also walk you through what could be the topics you need to cover, what could be the assessment you can take. So we will go in much details in this webinar. You can also drop all your questions on our Zoom chat during the webinar. That will be great. And we will start taking those questions in the last 15 minutes of this webinar, where we are answering all the parents' questions. So here we go. I think we have almost 50 people joined and we can begin. So I will give you, Luis, now the control, and you can walk them through all the 11 plus exam English preparation plan, and then I will take over for the maths. So here you go. Yeah, you can continue.
Great. Thank you, Preeti, and good afternoon, everybody. As Preeti said, my name is Lois, and I am an experienced English tutor with Pi Academy. So if there are questions about English, creative writing, comprehension, whatever it may be, please do ask at the end, and I'll answer them. So first of all, just going to go through today's plan, and I'm just going to share my screen here so we can take a look. So there we go. So today we're going to be talking about how to understand the 11 plus exam. What is it? What are the core subjects? We're looking at some of the exam boards. So we're going to go through which are the most kind of common exam boards used. We'll talk about how to assess your child's readiness for the exam at this point in the year. We'll talk about common mistakes, and we will go through the 4-month preparation planner to be using at this particular point in the year. And then we'll also talk about selecting your target school in terms of catchment areas. So first of all, just want to quickly summarize some main ideas for the 11 plus exam, which I'm sure you are all familiar with at this point. So the 11 plus exam is used by the grammars and the independent schools across the UK. And the exams are at slightly different times. For grammar schools, it's going to be September this year. And for independent schools, it will be January, so a little longer for independent schools. So it's around 4 months from now to September. So this is time to really plan in good detail. Now, as I'm sure you all know, the grammar schools typically use these 4 subjects: English, maths, verbal reasoning, and non-verbal reasoning. We are going to focus primarily on English and maths today, but VR and NVR, they are often included on these grammar school tests, but please do check your school's website, because not all of the schools do all four. Most of them will do English and maths and maybe VR and NVR, but some just do VR, some don't do either. So make sure that you check. The school's website is the best place to go to make sure you know which subjects you're going to be doing, which exam board, and then that will tell you which format it will be in as well. So it'll help your child to be really prepared. Now, for the 11+ exam boards, there are a few to be aware of. The largest one, most popularly used, is GL, Granada Learning. As you can see, there's a massive percentage of schools across the UK that use it. So it's highly likely that that will be the one that your child is sitting. There are the smaller ones like CSSE, which is the Consortium of Selective Schools in Essex. So if you're going for an Essex school, there's a good chance you'll be taking that one. The SET test is only used by a few schools, selective eligibility test. So if you are doing that one, you probably know that that's the one you're going to be doing. It's a slightly different format, but worth being aware that it is, there are similar skills, just slightly different layout in terms of how the questions are answered. And then, of course, we've also got FSCE, Future Stories Community Enterprise, but only a very tiny amount of schools use that one. If you are going for an independent school, you're likely going to be following ISEB. Their process is slightly different, and a lot of the independent schools will have their own exams that they write themselves, so they don't follow any of these particular boards. So please be aware, whichever one you're going for, it'll either be the independent schools going their own way or one of these boards for grammar schools. So for the M+ for English, for the exam boards, the main thing I want to stress is that the curriculum and the skills required are all going to be the same. It's just the layout of the exams that slightly differs. So I'm going to show you an example of the different papers so you can kind of get an idea of how different they are, but generally it's really similar in terms of what kind of things you need to know. So for GL, the most common one, it's multiple choice. The whole way through, it's multiple choice. There's no written, like, full sentence answers. There will be a comprehension section. There will be a spelling section, punctuation section, and grammar. It's very straightforward, and those are the sections that you have to follow. It will always be multiple choice. For SET, it's also multiple choice, but it's a little different in that you have a couple of questions will require you to select more than one answer as the correct one. So a little different. That's not something that GL do at all. They also have, for SET, there are 2 texts. For English, you have 2 texts to read, 2 sets of questions, and then a section where the 2 texts are compared. So that is kind of a unique element of SET that's worth being aware of. CSSE is different again. This is more of a descriptive style paper, in that there are questions where you have to write your answer in full. You have to use full sentences. You have to write down keywords, quote from the text, that kind of thing. A CSSE does include that. And it also includes a small applied reasoning section at the end as well. So I'm going to quickly show you some sample papers that we have put together so you can have an idea of the kind of thing that each one of these papers looks like. And I'll just come over to this slide. I hope. Just give it a second. There we go. So hopefully you can see this. For GL, as I said before, this is one of our sample papers for GL. It starts off with reading comprehension, and then it's followed by 3 different sections that are all multiple choice. The first one is spelling, capital letters and punctuation, being able to spot the mistakes, and then grammar exercise, where you have to identify the best words to complete the sentence. And so you'll have a passage to read. This is like a non-fiction passage, but it could be fiction. It could be even a poem. The text style will vary. And then you have a range of different questions to answer, which cover all the different comprehension skills. So, for example, number 1 is a vocabulary question. You have to find another word for species. Other ones, you have to look closely in the text to identify facts. You might need to infer the meaning from the author's way of phrasing something. You might need to be able to identify literary devices. Number 4 is an inference statement. As you can see, the word infer is actually used. Again, more literary devices, being able to tell what technique has been used there. more vocabulary. So it's a real range of different question types. So you need to be able to do all of these kinds of things. And I'll show you that in SET, it's really similar. But SET, as I said before, it does start with a spelling section. So it doesn't begin with comprehension. There's a spelling section to start where you have to identify the wrongly spelt word or the correct spelling from a range of different choices. But for comprehension, even though I mentioned there are two texts, the question styles are really quite similar. It's the same kind of skill. So you'll read an extract through, and then you will have to choose, multiple choice. You have to select the correct answer depending on the question. So the first one is an implication, so basically another inference question. The second one is finding literary devices. You have to identify examples of alliteration. Number 13 is vocabulary. Then you have to identify facts that support an idea. Then we've got more inference based on phrases from the text. So the skills are really similar for SET and GL. It's just that for SET, you have to select more than one phrase. And then finally, just to show you CSSE, this type of paper is a little bit different, as I said before. We've got a fiction passage to read to start off with. And then this is followed by a range of different question types. So as you can see, the first one is actually multiple choice, but then the second one gets you to write down a phrase that you have to choose. You have to find the right phrase from the text that tells you that Gulliver has been captured. The next one is multiple choice. Then you have to, for number 4, explain the meaning of something in your own words. So it is a wider range of question types. And so if your child is going to be taking the CSSE, they need to be practicing this style of paper as well, not just multiple choice. So the main thing that really differs between these papers is the way in which they are answered. And so that is what your child needs to be practicing close to the time. They need to have the core skills being practiced now, but close to the time you can get them to practice in the style that the paper will be. Now, I think that's everything I'm going to cover for now. So I'll hand back over to Preeti to continue with maths, and then I'll answer questions at the end. So back to you, Preeti.
Thank you, Louise. Yeah, so I will start going through the 11 plus maths, what should be the preparation and what type of exam boards are there. So as Louise exactly said, 11 plus exam board for maths, they are exactly the same. So as you can see for the GL, it's again multiple choice question paper. For ACT, it's also the multiple choice question paper. And for CSSE, it's a subjective type of questions. So we will go through the papers step by step, starting from GL, going to SET and then CSSE. So you can see in the GL style of paper, first page is always a cover page with the proper instructions. So you need to ensure that the child is reading all the instructions properly, understanding the instructions and the symbols. These symbols may vary, and also the number of questions and timing will vary based on the school to school. But what is really important is that you need to make sure that the child is habituated reading the cover page, the instruction page, or if they are playing some recorded instruction, the child should be aware that they need to listen to the instructions carefully. So it all depends upon what school you are applying for and how they are conducting the exam. But the general rule is these basic things you need to ensure during the preparation. You can see for every question, there are 5 multiple choices. In case of GL, the answer sheet might be very, very different. It can be a bubble shading kind of a format of the answer sheet. I will come to that later. You can see more or less the entire paper is exactly the same question and the 5 multiple choices. So going to the ACT paper, you will not find much difference into the ACT paper when I'm talking about the math style of ACT paper. You can see that this is again a multiple choice. The number of questions and timing can vary. Even the symbol can vary as well. There is not much difference. It's actually similar with GL exam only. Moving to the CSSE style of exam board, the questions are similar like GL only, but the format for writing the answer will vary. Again, it will have an instruction page and symbols used. So make sure that for CSSE exams, the child is following all the instructions given on the first page of the paper. Also here, there is a very important care all the parents should take care of, and that is for every question there is a space provided where the child is supposed to write the answer. So you can see under question number A, there is a little space for the working out, and then there is a separate column given for the writing the answer. So make sure that the child's handwriting is legible, it's nice and clean. They're not writing in very, very big handwriting where they are running out with the space. So ensure those instructions you are giving it to your child, and child is aware about how they are going to write down the stepwise answer. So yeah, this is all about the CSSE paper. So we spoke about all the 3 exam modes. Now, most of the parents, they always have a question like, how can I assess my child's current ability? What I would like to suggest here, there are a couple of ways by which you can do your child's assessment. We normally recommend, if you are taking a tuition from any company, the assessment should be done by the third party so that they can assess your child in a very unbiased way. I will walk you through what are the things you can do during the assessment. As you can see here, give your child a full length paper to solve under the timed condition. You can pull any paper, make sure that the paper is not too difficult, because keep it in mind, we still have 4 months of exam time left. And within these 4 months of time, the child can progress a lot. So give kind of a medium level difficulty paper, separating the questions and sub questions skill wise for English paper and topic wise for the maths paper. Prepare an assessment report and check which topics the child is struggling with. So I will show you what kind of assessment report we use under Pi Academy, so you can get an idea how the assessment should be carried out. So you can see here we clearly mention what type of assessment is it. Is it maths or English, name, date of testing, level of assessment, and assessment administrator who is taking that assessment. We mention the score, and very important thing is the percentage. So we quantify the result. As you can see, because it's a maths assessment, we are having all the list of the topics here. We are also mentioning the marks available and how much how much marks your child has achieved. We document each and everything. We also write a very concise recommendation plan. So you can see the structure of the assessment is, just hold on here, 1 second. Yeah. So partially wrong, and we document the completely wrong questions. So partially wrong because if there are kind of sub questions, some of the question the child is answering correctly, but partial part of the question is wrong. So we document that as well. Moving on, so here we have a very concise feedback. We make sure that we covered all the topics in the assessment. We also document the mistakes by the student, and we also tell parents like how these mistakes can be improved. So this is a very, very detailed assessment feedback. If you are assessing your child on your own, maybe you might not have these kind of templates. Then, that's why I said it's better if you have a proper professional assessment done. So at what point, at this point of time, where your child is. So moving on. So you can see there are the recommendations as well as the suggested course plan. So we also give you the recommendation based on the assessment. So say, for example, your child is lacking in algebra. We documented that. We gave a clear feedback about how the topic can be improved. And along with that, we will also give you the recommendation like what type of practice paper or what type of topic-wise questions especially you can use with your child to improve the scores. The English assessment also looks the similar way, but there are few differences in the English assessment. We try to identify, when we are assessing a child, we try to identify what type of questions the child is more comfortable with and what type of questions the child is struggling with. So that's why we mention the type of questions instead of topic wise. In case of maths, we also document how much marks were scored and what is the tutor's comment. Along with that, you can also see in this assessment, we are going to carry out the assessment for the creative writing part. And in creative writing, we are little strict in a sense that we try to follow the checklist while we are marking the assessment. And our checklist looks like this. So we make sure that the child has written the concise plan. Also, we will ensure the spelling, punctuation, grammars are correctly and appropriately used. We also make sure that the structure used in the creative writing plan is correct. The vocabulary used are higher level of vocabulary, and language techniques is really, really important, because on the basis of that, the children score more marks in the creative writing assessment. So once this is done, then we provide the feedback on the creative writing and how to improve. And likewise, what I said just now, in case of maths assessment, we also mention that the recommended practice papers, what could be the best practice paper the child can use. So we consolidate all our findings in form of a report. So yes, and then we ensure that if the child is lacking the vocabulary, we give them the suggested plan, what can be the reading books they can use it. We also have a reading club. So if we feel that the child is lacking a lot of vocabulary, then we ask the parents to join our reading club, because that club happens twice in a week for 45 minutes. So 90 minutes of definite reading practice, your child can get it, and that improves the vocabulary. The reason being that is most of the parents, they are not consistent in reading with their children, and that's where the major problems for the vocabulary they start coming up when the child is facing challenges with the creative writing. So that is pretty much how our assessment report looks like. You can also carry out the assessment by yourself, or you can come to us and we can do the assessment for you. Again, we do have the diagnostic assessment on our system. We can send you the link in our Zoom chat for the diagnostic assessment. You can take a look. And not just that, but you can also book our diagnostic assessment through our website. And the link, my support team will send you the link. You can do the booking for the assessment from this page. You can choose the subject. You can choose what time you are available on, and we can arrange the tutor for you. Moving back. Yeah. So what are the common mistakes most of the parent they do? And this is really important that you should not do these mistakes. First of all, make sure that you are having a very good plan in place, because if there is no planning, then in the last 4 months, it becomes really, really tricky. The second thing is not giving enough time and importance to the high marks topic. So I will give you an example. I will show you on our website, we have hundreds of topic-wise questions. Now, most of the parents, or in fact, most of the tutors as well, they do not consider the high level of topics. So you can see on our website under 11 plus paper, we do have the topic-wise questions. So you see here on the second card, there is a topic-wise question. And on the right-hand side, you can see all the consolidated topics. So these topics, they are coming from all the 11 plus maths past papers. So on our website, we have 180 past papers, and each question from each paper is stacked as per the topic wise. And that's how we have got the entire topic wise list, which is actual 11 plus exam past paper topics. Now, when I'm saying that most of the parents, they do not pay attention to the high mark topics, what does that mean? Say, for example, here you see the magic square. Just scroll up a bit, Akanksha. Yeah. So here you see the magic square. Not many parents and the tutors, they are aware about these topics, but there are the questions on this topic you can see. So these are kind of high marks topics which you never ever forget. The other example, in the numbers, we have around 3,500 questions on our website. And if you go in much detail of the number, if we come to the, say, for example, factors, right? The factors question, there are 130 factors questions on the website. So if you forget to practice these questions, and if those sort of questions come in the exam, then your child will struggle a lot. The other example is the sequence and series. This is a very common topic. Most questions are kind of a repetitive question. So make sure you are making a good practice of all the offbeat topics. Word problems. Word problem is the biggest difficulty for most of the kids. And many children, they are really good in calculation, but if you ask them to answer the question, which is a word problem questions, which is related with the multiple topics. Say, for example, fractions and ratio and percentage is a combined word problem is given to a child, they are unable to answer. So you need to make sure that you are not making mistakes, which thousands of parents they do, because they are not focusing on the high marks topic. So other example is HCF. Yeah. So here also there are like 23 questions, or order and compare numbers, which is 190 questions. So what my suggestion to you is, through my 11, 12 years of experience, I have seen so many parents, they are not even knowing about all these topics. So you guys should not do that mistake. Make sure that you are putting a very good weightage, and the practice timing, a typical practice time must be given for these high marks topics. So going back to our presentation, so don't make that mistake, not giving enough time and importance to high mark topics, not taking regular assessment to track the progress of the child. So this is a very common mistake, and that's why I'm telling all of you that we are having 4 months, and this is a great time to do the assessment, to have a self check, like where the child is exactly. Because if you realize that my child is only scoring now, it's 50%, you still have time to increase the child's percentage to another 40 to 45% in next 4 months of time, with a very concise plan. Solving papers too early on without considering the difficulty level of the paper. So again, as I said, even when you are assessing your child, do not try to give very hard paper, because we still have 4 more months remaining. So make sure the correct difficulty paper you are using it or solving it with your child. Lack of structured tutoring with quality resources. So most of the parent, they feel that I do have a one-to-one tutor, or I am sending my child to XYZ tutoring companies, and you are assured that the syllabus is covered, but you need to make sure that whoever is the tutor, they are aware about 11 plus exam styles and the exam board, because 11 plus exams difficulty level is quite high, and it's a way ahead than the normal national curriculum. And that's why you need to ensure the tutor who you are assigning for your child is having a typically 11 plus tutoring experience. The tutor has a very well defined structure, and not just that, the tutor is using the quality resources, solving too many papers instead of reflecting on the previous mistake. So don't try to put emphasis on daily my child should be solving 2 or 3 paper. It's not going to help. Rather, I would strongly suggest you, even your child is solving 3 to 4 papers in a week, you need to ensure that you are going through all the mistakes in the paper, because redoing or recapturing the questions which went wrong will increase your child performance in the next paper. So don't focus on the quantity, focus on the quality. You are going through each and every question, and whichever are coming wrong, you are documenting those questions appropriately, and you are revising them frequently. Attempting too many mock rather than building on the weak areas. It's exactly the previous point. I have seen many parents who are booking every day one mock exam. So I don't think this approach will help, because it's not about taking 30 mock exams in 30 days. It's about in first mock exam where your child made mistake, and you practice those all weak areas throughout the week. That matters a lot. So even you are taking your child for a couple of mock exams, it's absolutely more than sufficient. What you need to make sure that the report coming from the assessment, or the assessment of the mock exam. You are going through that report line by line, ensuring wherever the questions went wrong, you are practicing those questions with the multiple different examples with your child. So these are all consolidated mistakes through my so many years of experience. So try to avoid these mistakes. Moving on. What I can give you here in this webinar is the very concise planner of another 16 weeks. You can follow this planner. We are sending you this planner in the email as well. And don't, don't worry, we will give you all the links to the planner. Very briefly, I will walk you through how this planner looks like. As you can see, as I said, don't try to rush to solve the papers if your child has not mastered the topic. And that's why in the first 1 to 3 weeks, just recap all the topics your child did throughout the year. So go through all the maths topics like numbers, fraction, decimal, percentages, ratios, measurement, geometry, algebra. In English, go through lots of comprehension, styles of various comprehension questions, vocabulary, SPAG, and creative writing. When it comes to the week 4 to week 11, make sure that your child is practicing the past papers. And again, when you are doing the practice, when you are doing the past paper practice, make sure you are starting with the low difficulty papers. Then do that practice for a week, easy level of papers. Then you raise the difficulty level for the following week. So keep doing that for a couple of weeks, and then close to the exam, increase the difficulty level little higher. So this is how your approach should be. So low, medium, and high difficulty question papers, you need to focus them in the week 4 to 11. So you have almost like 7 weeks to do these papers. Then in week 12, you can practice more papers with a board specific papers you can practice like GL. So if you are applying for a school which has got the GL exam board, then start focusing now on the GL exam board. Many parents think that my child is appearing for the GL exam board and I should not do any other practice paper. That's a biggest mistake you are making. The reason being that is it's not about the format of the paper. It's about the covering entire 11 plus exam syllabus. So as I have shown you on our website, we have almost 180 past papers. They are not necessarily from the GL exam board, but if you practice them, the child's concepts are absolutely clear. Now, what matters close to the exam is just the exam format. So GL is nothing but a multiple choice question paper where the options are given as A, B, C, D, E. But if your child doesn't know how to solve the algebra questions, even in that scenario as well, your child may not able to answer the question properly. So that's why never make a mistake that okay, my child is having only GL exam and I should focusing only on the GL paper. Don't do that. Try to expose your child to the lots and lots of papers. In our academy, we ensure that every child is practicing minimum of 100 papers. So obviously the child can't go wrong in the exam because we have covered 100% of the 11 plus exam syllabus. And as I showed you on our website, we have, I think 75 topics are there under 11 plus maths exam. So practice them rigorously. Do not focus on the exam board. You need to focus the exam board very close to the time. We do have lots and lots of additional resources. Let me send out this planner to you in the email along with our uh, all the details like how you can subscribe to our subscriptions and everything. So this is pretty much about our planner. Moving back to the presentation here. The main question is how to select your target school. Now we have many parents whose choice is very clear. Some parents think that we don't want to pay the private school fees and we want to only apply for the grammar school, which is great. Some parents, they think that if they don't get the choice of their grammar school, they might apply for the independent school. So it all depends upon what you want to achieve. What I would strongly recommend for the parents who are typically applying and focusing only on the grammar schools, the catchment area plays a vital role. And what we did is schooluniguide.com. It's our guide website. It's my second startup. So you can see on this website, we have 27,000 schools, and we also giving all the options for the parents to get the entire information about the school. So as you can see, you can compare two schools together. You can find out very, very detailed information about any school. Here you can compare the two schools, you can compare them with the school information, you can also compare them with the exam boards. The interesting point is, many parents, when they come to me, they ask a question, we have secured the place in the two schools, now what school we should choose? And it all depends upon what the schools is achieving. Say, for example, what are the schools A-level results, or what are the schools GCSE result, what are the levers destination of those schools, so when you are making any kind of decision, the comparing the two schools together, wherever you got the offers, it's really important to check into all these aspects in much detail. And even before you want to apply for the school, it's worthwhile taking few minutes and check that, okay, you have 10 list on your list to apply for. Now, what school would be the best? And then you can prepare your priority level, like which school you want to try it as your first priority, second priority, third priority, so on and so on. And the basis to decide those priorities are coming from comparison of the schools. And you can compare literally any school on this website. We have all the grammar schools and all the independent schools, all the state schools as well. I will show you one example. So if you go to the grammar school, can our team give the link to this website so even parents can browse our website? So just send this link in the Zoom chat. So here you can see we do have Simon Langton Girls Schools and Tunbridge Wells Girls Grammar School. What we have done here is you can get a full detailed information about this school from our website. You can also choose the filters from the left. So you can choose the stage of education, you can choose the type of the school, whether you want grammar school, independent school, you can choose the gender, you can choose the Ofsted rating. So all the facilities are there. You can choose whatever you like. And when you land on any card, we have read more information and the compare. So read more information will give you each and every detail of the school. We invested a lot of man hours in giving this website to all our parents. You can sign up for free and check this on our website. Of course, it's a free plan as well as the pricing plan. You can check under the pricing section. Here we have incorporated all the catchment areas of the school. Not just that, you can also see the GCSE and A-level results of the school. You see on the top bar, you can get all the information. So school information, admissions, admission criteria, catchment area, GCSE A-level result, Ofsted report, community, jobs, and all the FAQs. So this is all information is highly consolidated on a single page, because we understand that the parents are really busy and they don't have time to consolidate the information. So we have done this job for you. You can have a good look through this website. We have sent you in the Zoom chat, browse through this website and check it. The interesting part is I will show you the catchment area page, because that's where most of the parents, they must focus when it comes to the grammar school. And on the catchment area page, we have consolidated all the information, including the ethnicities, cohort size, community, as well as the nearby schools. So close to this particular grammar schools, what are the nearby schools? I will show you one of the interesting parameter on our nearby schools. You can choose any of the nearby school which you would like to. And then here you will see all the crime rate area information and everything on this page. So you can also get to know what are the crime rates in that particular school, because most of the moms who are sitting in this webinar, they are very concerned like me, when we want to send the children to any school, what is the crime rate area, or what are the crimes happening nearby to school? Is my child is safe to travel? So all those sort of questions we have tried to address, through this website. You can completely take an advantage to browse this website, and you can go through the important pages. You can save save your pages, you can save your comparisons. So all the features are already available in the dashboard. What you need to do is you just need to sign up and make sure that the sign up happened properly. You can save, you can share, and you can do whatever you like. So this is pretty much what we have. You can check all the catchment area information, which will form the basis for you to make a decision which school would be good and whether you are lying within that catchment area zone for that particular school or not. Moving back, so in today's webinar, yeah. So in today's webinar, we are offering 30% off. You apply any kind of a coupon code, which is webinar 30, not any kind. Webinar 30 is the coupon code. You can do shopping, whatever you like from the website. Do not forget to apply webinar 30 coupon code to get the 30% discount. What I'm going to do now, we are sharp on time, and I will start all the questions which are coming from the parents to answer them one by one. Yeah, so Soumya is asking a question. Will you sending the PPT slides later or should we take the notes now? We are sending all the PPT, Zoom recordings, planners, everything through the email. So you don't need to take the notes. My team has already given you the link to our diagnostic assessment, reading club. So you can have a look of that. There is a message from Anai. Hi Preeti, how many times should the assessment be done and what time of the preparation? So I would suggest couple of time assessment should be done. Maybe you can take first assessment now and maybe after a couple of months, because what is really important, as I said it or earlier, you need to ensure that you are following the feedback of the assessment. It's not about how many times you are taking the assessment or doing the assessment. It's about the outcome of the assessment. You need to follow word by word, line by line, making sure that whatever the weak areas are highlighted by the tutor, they have been addressed. So as you can see on our webpage, which is in front of the screen, you can book the assessment through using this form, and then we can take it from that point onwards. Okay, so the next question is from Lara. Is it possible to put a H against the high value topics there? So yeah, I will show you. That's a very interesting question. I will show you a very important thing about this. Akanksha, can you open the maths past paper planner? So as I said, we on our website under 11 plus papers, we have 11 plus math sort papers, and we have a very beautiful planner here. So you can download this planner. It is absolutely free. You don't need to pay anything. And in this planner, you can see we have documented here already a paper level. So it's a easy, medium, and high paper level. You can document the marks scored. You can document the percentage scored. What are the wrong numbers from that paper your child has got? What are the weak areas? And you can write into the comments if those questions are low or high or medium difficulty level based on your child's own understanding. Please send the link to this planner to our parents so that they can also browse it. Yeah, there is a question, and this is a very, very common question. How many mock exams do you take at this stage close to the exam? So now it's a very, very good time to take a mock exam, maybe end of May, and then maybe next mock exam, maybe mid of June or end of June. End of this month, you can take the first mock exam, and the next mock exam you can take in the mid of July. Sorry, mid of July, not mid of June, mid of July. So whenever you are taking any mock exam right now, make sure that there is at least 6 to 8 weeks gap. So whatever the findings are coming from the mock exams, you are addressing them. On our website also, you can see we have very beautiful mock exams here. You can see 11 plus GL mock exams, maths and English, and then there is another 11 plus GL mock exam for maths and verbal. So we have lots and lots of mock exams. These are all online. So if it is difficult for the working parents to go to the center and take a mock exam, we ensured that all these mock exams are taken online, and they will give you the exact feel of the real exam. The results are instant, and you can go back to all your wrong questions. The answers are also very well written, and the stepwise answers, so you can definitely book a mock exam if you are looking for the online mock exam. We are not doing any offline mock exams, but yeah, there are like a lot of good resources available for the offline mock exams as well. Uh, so moving on to the next question. So there is a question from Rishi Vinod. Believe only certain schools around London, Essex accept students from non-catchment. Is there a way we can find these schools? Uh, yeah, you are absolutely correct. All the grammar schools they are now quite keen to get the children from the catchment area. But there are few schools like QE Boys, which is highly competitive school. They are still not having a typical catchment area, but the best way is to check from the school official website, like because they keep changing the admissions policies. So it would be nicer if you check it on the school's official website. We have a lot of data which is quite updated on our website. You can check our website as well for that. Hi, is there a website which lists everything that is covered in the 11 plus? Is it possible to get the actual past paper? So all papers which are available on our website, they are actual past papers only, because past papers are past papers. We don't curate the past paper. What we do is just writing the answers for those past paper. I will open it for you. All the papers are from the schools. They are not our papers. We are just providing the answers to all the questions. So that's why they are called as a past papers. Here, there is a question from Afroza. When should we start mock? Do you have any mock? I think I have just walked you through where our mock exams are. We can send you the link to the mock exams. You can subscribe the mock exam online. Yeah, hello, good morning. I just wanted to, this is a question from Fatima. Hello, good morning. I just wanted to quickly ask you regarding the 11 plus exam half-term courses. I noticed you have had Sunday classes for £10 an hour, but when clicking on it, it shows the option of £99. Yeah, that's correct. So £10 an hour. So in a week, we are running 3 hours, and in a month, we are running 12 hours. So if you calculate it, it will become £99. So it's a perfect calculation which is available on our website as well. You are paying for a month and not for the hour. So in a month, you can check here. So we are running like around 3 hours of lessons. And if you calculate it, it's in fact lesser than £10 an hour. This is for the whole year payment, which is obviously we don't have left. No, this is not a whole year payment. If you can read the web page correctly, it's a monthly payment. So you are paying £99 per month. It is very clearly written on the web page. So have a look. It's a £99 per month. You can run your subscription until the end of the exam, and then you can stop it. So it's not like an annual subscription. So I think I have clarified that. There are a few Sunday classes to join that we are interested. Could we possibly pay for those? No, you cannot. You have to subscribe for the entire month, 1 month. We don't give the classes just for one Sunday or 2 Sundays like that. As you can see, the pricing is really, really very, very low. We are not even charging £10. It's I think £8 or £9 per hour. And not just that, you are getting access to all the 11 plus papers which are available on our website. If you start subscribing individual paper, that will become very, very expensive. But what we are including in this plan is a full package for the tutoring plus the resources. And the reason we are deploying this plan, because we wanted to make the subscription highly affordable to the parents. Now you can imagine £9 per hour is nothing. And that's why we try to make this plan highly affordable by if you look, the number of resources you are getting in this plan is they are really enormous, and I can strongly recommend you can use this plan maybe 4 or 5 months until the point where your child is having the exam, and you can utilize all the resources as well as the tutoring. Rishi Vinod is asking, do you have any practice paper related to Saturn, as I cannot find my subscription with maths and English? So here on 11 plus papers, if you go to the second row and the second card, it shows GL, CEM, ISEB, SET and CSSE. So please send this link in the chat. And on this page, if you just go little down, you will see a proper SET papers. So you are asking me, you don't find them under the maths or English. I'm not sure if you subscribed for the SET paper or you have subscribed for the 11 plus maths and English paper. So it depends upon what you are subscribed for. So under 11 plus paper, every card represent a separate subscription. So if you are paying money for 11 plus maths papers, then you will get only 11 plus maths papers. If you are paying for English papers, you will get English papers. So if you want SET papers, just double check in your account if you subscribe to these SET papers. If you have subscribed for SET papers, then they must be visible in your dashboard. But if you have subscribed for 11 plus maths and English paper, then you might not get access to the SET paper, because every subscription need to be paid separately. And that's why I'm saying that's the beauty of our Sunday classes. All these papers, all these subscriptions, you will get included into our 99 pound per month plan along with the tutoring. So please send the Sunday classes link. Parents who want to subscribe for Sunday classes, they can subscribe. Do you have mock exams for CSSE pattern? I don't think so, because CSSE pattern is where we need to manually correct the papers, because these are the open-ended papers. But what you can do is, we do have beautiful CSSE papers on our website. You can use them as a mock exam at home. So you print the paper, you start the timer, and you can use these papers for the mock exam. So these are actually the practice paper, but yes, many parents, they use it for the mock exam as well. Anya is asking, are there any key literary devices we should focus on for 11 plus? There seem to be too many, and it's hard to know how much is enough. I think, Louis, you can address this question through our literary devices test papers.
Sure, yes. That is a great question. There are a lot, you're right. But there are some key ones to know, to make sure there are extras that are a little harder that aren't so important. But if you use this page, this will help you to learn all the key ones. So we've got alliteration, we've got similes. If we just scroll down, you'll see there's metaphors, personification, onomatopoeia, imagery, which is like using the senses, symbolism and satire. These are the harder ones. These later ones are a little harder. Amplification, hyperbole is a really key one. But all of these are important. Euphemism, antithesis, again, they're more challenging. Paradox, oxymoron is really important. And then you've got a mixed test at the end. So you can see that some of those, if you look at the mixed test at the bottom, the most key ones really are the similes, metaphors, and hyperbole. Like the first two are like the most common stuff that comes up. In my experience, there's other ones that are a lot harder, but the main ones to be aware of are, the most common: alliteration, simile, metaphor, personification, hyperbole, onomatopoeia. But if you try these out, if you use all of these resources, you'll be covering everything. So I would really recommend trying out all of these, so that no matter what comes up, your child will be aware, because there are a lot, but also there's not so many that you can't know what they all mean. So I would start here, and this will build your foundation of knowledge.
Yeah, thank you, Louis. So there is a question from Ifani. She's asking, hello, is the Sunday class enough to prepare my child for 11 plus exam? Also, should I focus on the grammar school practice paper, because my child is taking the Bexley Grammar School exam? So should I focus on only Bexley past papers? Sure. So Sunday classes, yes, absolutely. It is more than sufficient. Of course, you need to study hard with your child at home, because Sunday class is only for 3 hours. And I always tell parents, yeah, once you have a tutor or a class, then you need to ensure once the class is over, the homework, the lecture notes, you are going through with your child throughout the week. So any tutoring company, or any tutor, you should not completely rely only on the tutor, because tutor is coming for 3 hours per week and you are with your child 24/7. So I'm telling you through my many years of experience, parents who work hard with their children, those children, they succeed in the 11 plus exam. So please make sure it's not just the tutor, because tutor is doing their job during those 3 hours of tutoring, but it's you as a parent who are looking after your child 24/7. So once we set up the homework through our weekend classes, it's you need to ensure that your child is doing the homework. You are marking your you are marking your child's homework by yourself, making sure whatever the mistakes he is doing in the homework, you are going through those mistakes. Because if you look at the end of the web page, we are including the lecture notes and the PDF documents, and we are having a daily homework for the practice. Now, when we set up the homework, obviously our tutors are not going to mark your child's homework, because our lessons are highly affordable and we do not include the service of marking in this plan. So you need to make sure that you are marking homework, going through all the mistakes your child is making right after the class, and giving him huge practice. Because as I said, within these Sunday classes, you are getting literally thousands of resources free under this 99 pound per month plan. So you are making a very good use of using those resources. You see the list of the resources here. Try to make a good use of all these resources. Do the practice throughout the week with your child, and I'm sure your child will definitely succeed. To answer the second part of your question, you are applying for the Bexley school, and the Bexley school papers, are they enough for the practice? The answer is no. The reason being that is, when I was walking you through the past papers, I have mentioned one point, that you should not focus typically on the Bexley exam board or the GL exam board or the CEM exam board. You must ensure that your child is knowing 11 plus exam syllabus in and out. What does that mean is, you have to make sure that whatever the 75-80 topics are there under the 11 plus exam, as you have a topic list in front of you, 11 plus maths topic wise. So all these topics, though they are not typically Bexley style, but you cannot predict what exam questions will be there in the Bexley style. And hence, I'm always saying to all the parents, your job is to make sure that you are doing the 11 plus exam syllabus rigorously with your child. When the exam is approaching, just few 8 to 10 weeks before that, your total focus only on the exam board. So make a very nice blend of completing the entire syllabus of 11 plus exam, and then focusing on to the typical exam board. And that's why in my planner, in the first few weeks, I have mentioned that you must do a thorough practice of the topic wise first. If you look at my planner, uh, you see first 1 to 3 weeks topic wise and the skill best practice. So it should include everything. It should not be just the Bexley. It should have literally each and everything. And when you are coming closer to the exam, then you focus on the exam board. I think this is a very important discussion, and all parents should understand the point. What I'm trying to convey here is the focus should be on 11 plus exam syllabus and not on the typical exam board, because what question will come into the exam board or in real exam, nobody can predict. There are many questions. I don't think I can capture all these questions in this today's webinar, but by all chance, I think more or less I have tried to cover most of the questions. We have our chat support. If you have any questions, you can ask those questions on our chat. But I think most of the time the questions are pretty repetitive. I can't able to go down the list, but I wish all the best to all our parents. Use our 30% discount code, book our courses. There are lots of courses on 11 plus courses page. You can see here, we are having GL book, revision course, maths complete revision course. All these courses are having 30% off. So use the coupon code and book your courses. And I wish you all the very best. And yeah, prepare well. Last 4 months are only remaining. Join our lessons classes. They are highly structured and very cost effective. And yeah, apply the coupon code. Thank you so much. Have a lovely Sunday. Thank you. Thank you very much, Louis. Bye for now.
Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.